Today we need to talk about people saying that V is possibly upset over fans apparently not being with him anymore. We also need to get into V being spotted with Jennie at Disneyland apparently and what that rumor is about. And then we have a public apology made by Jimin. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling, taste Bling Bug merch, and let's go. We currently have a bit of a resurgence of Jimin after what was believed to be his promotional period being over. This is not unheard of, but since a lot of people were complaining about HYBE not allowing Jimin to have a proper promotion, well, here he is. I highly doubt HYBE actually listened to the hate comments, and this is what the resurgence of Jimin is about. But hey, he's back, so everyone could just shut up. So what happened? Jimin apparently recently released his documentary, and he's been going around promoting that. People online were going as far as to say that Jimin only had 9 days of promotion before it ended, and I'm not sure how people are measuring this, because oftentimes they don't count things like TikTok promotion or just anything to do with social media. The only thing that counts as promotion is typically just big TV networks, and nowadays you can get more promotion as an artist just by making a TikTok video than you could when you go on TV. So it definitely should be counted. The documentary that Jimin is releasing is a solo documentary, likely about his promotion and what he had to do for his album. It will make its debut on Weverse on October 23rd. HYBE didn't give away too much on what the documentary is about, but they did talk about this documentary to be an unfiltered look into Jimin and the fans getting to see his emotional process through making the album, which would definitely be very interesting to see. Jimin went on Weverse to do some promotion for this and answer some questions. One question that was asked that was super cute was if Jimin had a really memorable birthday. Jimin said that he had one birthday that he remembered from pre-debut. This was a birthday where all the members saved up their money to get Jimin a bracelet. Keep in mind, this was also likely around the time that Suga still had to work a 9-to-5 with his delivery job, and many of the other members likely didn't have much money. So pooling all of their money together to get Jimin something is definitely a big deal. And Jimin was absolutely touched by this beautiful gift. He ended up taking the bracelet and putting it into a locked box, and he kept it away and somewhere for a really long time. But then Jimin explained how he actually lost the box. This happened because Jimin was moving around so much and moved from apartment to apartment, or also things like touring. I'm sure there was even a situation where they were trying to find their own place, but they didn't want to be in HYBE's dorm anymore, so they put all their stuff in storage. So moving things so much is definitely a recipe for losing things. Also, I can definitely make the assumption that the boys don't really care a lot about materialistic things. So I'm sure even though Jimin lost the bracelet, this wasn't something that the members would be super upset about as long as Jimin remembers what the message and the intention behind receiving the bracelet was. Jimin, of course, talked about this very publicly on Weverse and mentioned that he would like to issue a very public apology to the members for losing the bracelet, but of course wanted to let them all know how much the bracelet still means to him. So if he still remembers that, then that means it meant a lot to him. So the actual bracelet probably really doesn't matter, and compared to some of the new, possibly shinier things he may have or be able to afford now, the actual bracelet probably was ugly. But I love this story and I'm really glad he shared it. It's moments like this that you realize they do like each other, and any comment that says otherwise are people who aren't actually watching or looking into the boys enough and are just making assumptions. I hate the assumption in which some of the K-pop fans make about people, because they do it so strangely that it actually irks me. Not because it's annoying or insulting, but because it just simply doesn't align with reality, but they will die by their reality. That makes no sense. So what happened? Well, people were saying that V's album and promotion flopped because the fans don't want to support V anymore. A lot of that alleged lack of support comes from this idea that V is dating Jennie. Now explain to me exactly why V potentially dating someone would cause real fans to not support, and this would cause people to not like his music. Music has nothing to do with dating. Also, does this idea that fans allegedly won't support V anymore over dating, does this idea have the facts and the numbers to back it up? His album sold over 2 million copies, making him the first Korean soloist to do this in 23 years, and then also surpassing his bandmates RM and J-Hope in sales, with RM having 800,000 and J-Hope having 1 million. million. These numbers could be a bit skewed, but you get the point. 2 million is not a flop by any means, and these comments are annoying, as I said, because they're simply not based on reality. I haven't seen a single ARMY leave a comment to say, I'm not streaming because he's with Jennie. And if there are such comments, it's definitely not the majority. For example, I personally get comments sometimes of people saying, you know, the entirety of Korea knows all about you and hates you. Sure, if that was true, it probably would hurt me. The comment is strange because all of Korea definitely does not know me, nor have I sat here and ever said that I was famous and want to be that well known in Korea. If I go to Korea, I better be mobbed and people throw apples at me if I'm judging how known and hated I am from that comment. But it's funny to me because it's clear that this is the reality in which the hater lives. So I'm definitely wondering if their whole social media front page is just me and people who hate me, which is not the norm and definitely not what most people's feeds look like. Most people's feeds are things that make them happy. But because these people have so much hate, their feed is just hate. And that is absolutely hilarious to me, because that is the only way in which someone could, with such power, say that everyone hates me or hates V, to when they only see hate comments about either person. So I often look at these comments and they're very funny because the hater lives in such a delusion that it's hard to even explain, because it's just so not in reality. Fans have definitely not left V and definitely have been supporting V. V, I would say, actually has one of the most successful solo debuts right now, and that's the actual truth. People have other things to say about V, and things like V and Jennie were at Disneyland together, and look, we have no idea if they were together or not, and honestly, it doesn't really matter. But I will say the evidence here used to prove that V and Jennie are at Disneyland is quite strange. So what exactly happened? Well, one of the evidence that happened a little while ago that is being brought up again, and I'll explain, was an image of V with Mickey Mouse on his phone. And then a bit later, Jennie had apparently posted a mirror selfie, and we could see Minnie Mouse on her phone. So people were saying that the two got those two as a way to be a couple and be cute. While this could definitely be a cute way to show their love for each other, it's quite a strange one. Neither of them have ever publicly admitted to liking Disney or specifically Mickey Mouse. Why do that as opposed to something else that could be more personal? I don't know. This example was used again when V has posted a selfie of him at Disneyland along with his friends. He was in the middle and people clocked that he actually had a Minnie Mouse headband on his head. But then people noticed that Jennie had also previously posted a photo of her at Disneyland to say that she was wearing a Mickey Mouse headband. I guess people were implying here that they either switched their headbands with each other, or this was another time they attempted to match, like the phone case situation. But this is very odd and weak evidence of someone dating too, because if they're both at Disneyland and they wanted to take a photo of themselves in headbands, wouldn't they naturally just pick the most popular one? And V probably just thought it would be funny to be Minnie. It doesn't mean they were dating or trying to match, and it definitely doesn't mean that the two were together at the Disney park. However, if they ever go together, the fans should definitely not be shocked or it even be a big deal. One thing that I think people often forget is that if the two are dating, they know that they're famous and they can't go to places in public and just be together without controversy. So they need to go on dates in private areas or at night where they can't really be seen. Also, if they go on dates, the likelihood of them actually taking any sort of photo of that day and posting it is going to be slim to none. They would likely keep that photo just for themselves if they took any. If you just look at the history of people Dispatch has exposed or other idols that have confessed to dating, you'll very quickly see that there was no formal public interaction. And it's usually with people you never expect, because it's really not that hard to date silently and to never post any pictures. So my opinion and conspiracy still stands that the two are a publicity stunt and or they're actually dating, in which case, who cares? Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thank you so much for the comment right here. Love you. Bye.